Melanie Martinez, who appeared as a finalist on The Voice in 2012, has adamantly denied an accusation of sexual assault and rape by friend and fellow aspiring musician Timothy ℎ𝑒𝑤𝑜. The shocking accusation was made on Monday when ℎ𝑒𝑤𝑜 posted a lengthy tweet in which she detailed her alleged assault at the hands of someone she described as a close friend, later revealing it to be Martinez.
I don't even really know if I consider cause Maddie, the other girl who slept with her.
What's up, losers? This isn't usually the type of content I would put on my channel, but I feel like it needs to be talked about. I'm a little hesitant because of how sensitive the topic is, but I can confidently say I will be fair, respectful, and as unbiased as I can. If you haven't already heard, the rape allegations against Melanie Martinez are back. Let's talk about it. But first, we have to rewind a bit. December 4th, 2017, Timothy ℎ𝑒𝑤𝑜, former singer of the band Dresses, accused her ex-friend Melanie Martinez of sexual assault in a pretty reedy tweet. Please note, I'm only reading part of the tweet as it gets pretty graphic, but I will leave everything I was able to find in the description box. I have kept this secret for years, convincing myself that it wasn't a big deal and I wasn't hurt by it. The thought of accepting that my best friend me seems insane. Even typing that doesn't feel real to me. I started telling the story to those closest to me as somewhat of a joke. Haha, can you believe this crazy night? But I began to get responses I wasn't expecting, concerned ones. It's hard to say someone you loved you, someone you still love. The thought of writing this and having the world see it terrifies me, especially because of who this person is. This was my best friend. She took me in, which I was so grateful for. I feel like I owed her my life, and my life began to revolve around hers. I had my own problems, but if I could focus on her life, I could put off dealing with my own inner turmoil for just a bit longer. Some of her fans became my fans, but their loyalty never strayed from her. They were dedicated. She's perfect. To the public, she can do no wrong. She's there for her fans. She gets it. She's different. When faced with a friend who really needed help, though, I can honestly say she let me down completely. During the most difficult time in my life, my rock bottom, her power and control over me grew and grew, and I was silenced. While being open about realizing how much help I needed, I was made to feel guilty. I had to apologize for having an extreme panic attack where I thought I was going to die because it ruined her night. Endless incidents like this. I had become a problem. Yet through it all, I loved her. Codependency works in a lot of strange ways. In my relationship with this friend, I was dependent on helping her with her life. As soon as I needed a small bit of focus and support from my best friend, there was nothing for us to relate to each other about. Our friendship was about her. The power she had over me grew into me having a very hard time saying no to her. I would do almost anything for her. One night, during a sleepover, she became increasingly interested in my preferences. As someone who had previously been through abuse, this is hard for me to talk about. I was obviously uncomfortable, but she was my best friend, so I tried to be open about it. The conversation never seemed to end, though. I had work very early in the morning. She began asking me while in bed if I would have sex with her. While being incredibly uncomfortable by this offer, I attempted to laugh it off. I had a boyfriend at the time, and she knew that. He doesn't have to know. It's not a big deal. It went on for hours, asking me why I didn't want to, that it would be fun. I repeatedly said no. I had work in the morning. I just wanted to sleep. I was exhausted. I attempted to sleep, but was kept up the entire night with my best friend begging me to sleep with her. It seemed strange, but she was my best friend. I said no, and I thought we could move on. The next night unfortunately went the exact same way. Regardless of my response the first night, she was not giving up. If she had gotten the hint, she didn't care. I was exhausted. She convinced me to smoke weed, and since I have a hard time saying no to her, I complied, thinking maybe then I'd be able to just fall asleep and avoid the situation altogether. The same conversation began to happen, continuously trying to convince me it was going to be okay, and it would be fun and feel good. I would say, my boyfriend would be so upset. I really need to sleep. I have work in the morning. I said every form of no I could think of. As I lay praying to fall asleep, she began touching my arm. I allowed this to happen. Maybe she'd give up. This went on for maybe an hour. I got increasingly uncomfortable. I started giggling, saying that it tickled. I in no way wanted to make this a situation. Can I just do this? Can I just touch your arm? Can I just touch your boobs? She began bartering with me. All I wanted to do was go to sleep. She began talking about the appearance of my boobs and begged me to just touch them. We didn't have to do anything else. I was so exhausted and confused and high and belittled. I just allowed it to happen. This led to her touching the rest of me. I never said yes. I said no, repeatedly. But she used her power over me and broke me down. Just so there's no confusion, I was by my best friend. I lay still in shock, completely not reciprocating. That's what happened. The bottom line that I need to always remind myself is that I said no for 2 nights straight. It doesn't matter that I didn't resist during the action. I'd been broken down. She knew I didn't want to. I made that clear. I didn't scream at her. I didn't force her off me. 1, because I loved her. 2, because I just wanted it all to be over. We never talked about this night ever again. While it completely messed with my head, there was no way I could have been by my best friend. Right? Our friendship ended because she decided she didn't have time for me anymore, to worry about me anymore. She cared too much about me. It was holding her back. I'm not sure how to end this story. I'm terrified of the response I'm going to get. The only reason I do this now is because I'm hoping, because of the recent events, people will believe me. If you begin to doubt the abuse taking place in this story, I beg you to imagine her role in this being a man. Girls can girls. Best friends can best friends. Friendship does not equal consent. Silence doesn't equal consent. I wish it wasn't so hard for me to convince myself of these things. Though Timothy doesn't name her abuser in her initial statement, she later comes out and says that it was Melanie Martinez. Timothy provides for us 2 pieces of evidence to corroborate her statement, the first being a picture of Melanie taken during the sleepover in which the alleged assault took place. The second piece of evidence being a video of Timothy's iCloud in a now-deleted tweet from December 30th, 2017. Remember that. For now, we'll address Melanie's statements. In the late hours of December 4th, 2017, Melanie released her initial statement denying Timothy's accusations. I am horrified and saddened by the statements and story told tonight by Timothy Heller. What she and I shared was a close relationship for a period of time. We came into each other's lives as we were both starting our careers as artists, and we tried to help each other. We both had pain in dealing with our individual demons and the new paths we were forging, but I truly felt we were trying to lift each other up. She never said no to what we chose to do together, and although we parted ways, I am sending her love and light always. She uses an interesting choice of words here, but let's not get hung up on that just yet. We'll be back. Melanie then released a second statement on December 9th, 2017, in which she is adamant she is innocent. I understand how hard it could be to see my side of the story, considering no one with a heart would want to invalidate anyone speaking up about this topic. I want to thank my fans who took the time to research the timeline, analyze past Instagram photos, and question the story being told, which reveal her false statements. I trusted so many people in my life who took advantage of that trust for their own personal gain. Please know that my intentions with everything that I do in my life are always pure, and I would never be intimate with someone without their absolute consent. People weren't fond of this statement, however, feeling as though she denies anything at all happening even though she admitted that something happened in her original statement. On December 22nd, 2017, Melanie posted a third and final statement by releasing the song Piggyback on SoundCloud. The song exposes the fake friends Melanie has had through her lifetime, mentioning how they only used her for fame to gain fans of their own or attention. On December 5th, 2017, the day after both parties' initial statements, Timothy did an exclusive interview with Newsweek addressing the allegation. Former Dresses musician Timothy Heller accused The Voice star Melanie Martinez of on Monday, and within 24 hours, Martinez tweeted a response to Heller's accusation, explaining, "Heller never said no to what we chose to do together." On Tuesday, Heller exclusively told Newsweek that she believes Martinez became aware of the impending accusation on November 16 and tried to keep the story from coming out. Last month, Heller tweeted that she intended to share her story of being assaulted by a former friend. What if I have my own story of abuse, but I'm scared to ruin the person's life and I still love them in a fucked up way, and the public really, really loves them? She asked her friends. According to Heller, 20 minutes after she posted the tweet, Martinez tried to contact her. It was the first time Heller had heard from her in more than a year. I started sobbing when I saw Melanie was calling me, and I blocked her, Heller said. Martinez then tried calling Heller's boyfriend, 𝐖𝐞𝐥𝐸, and sent him several messages asking him to put her in touch with Heller. In Martinez's text messages, which Newsweek has read, the 22-year-old singer says she recently dreamed about Heller and that inspired her to get in touch. Martinez also suggests the services of a healer named Raven, which Heller said she found insane and deeply insulting. Her fans see her as this angel who understands them, Heller explained, so I assumed no one was going to take me seriously if I explained what she did. I've been reading all of the #MeToo stories, and though I'm obviously in support of the people coming forward, I wasn't sure if my story of being assaulted fit. People don't really talk about this, Heller continued, but I know now that assault happens this way all the time. I loved her even after it happened, and I had this sick need to protect her, which I've learned is very common for victims of assault, especially those hurt by their family or friends. According to Heller, Martinez pressured her into contact on June 25, 2015. Heller said Martinez pried for information on her preferences and suggested they play a flirtatious game with handcuffs. I was laughing along at first, Heller said, but Melanie was so serious. Heller said that because of her friendship with Martinez, she was racked with guilt for years after that night. We remained friends for a while, but it was strange, obviously. I think I was invalidating my own experience for so long because she's not a man, Heller explained. Plus, she was my friend, and I sat with what happened in silence because I didn't want to be malicious. Heller said she considers herself an advocate for mental health, but watching Martinez brand herself as an ally to those with mental illness was too much hypocrisy for her to handle. She says she tried to help me early in my career, but all that means is that she'd occasionally suggest we write a song together, Heller said. Her former band dresses opened for Martinez on her 2014 tour. I'd say sure, but it would never happen. We'd just lay around smoking weed all day. Eventually, Heller said Martinez ended their friendship, texting, I just can't have anything stopping me or distracting me from getting where I need to get. I don't have time to have those distracting things in my life. The next couple of years are pretty crucial for me and I need to focus. Heller said Martinez never responded to messages she sent after that conversation, and that she didn't hear from Martinez again for more than a year. She saw some psychic who told her she had to cut people out of her life if she wanted to win a Grammy, Heller said. Suggesting a healer after I said I might tell my story, saying she dreamt about me, it's condescending, Heller added. What, she's invested in my well-being all of a sudden, and it has nothing to do with that tweet? Heller went on to explain that Martinez's dismissal of her account says it all. First of all, I did say no, multiple times, she said, but even if I hadn't, that doesn't mean I wanted it. She dug her own grave saying she didn't say no. That's not consent. The original timeline as stated by Timothy goes as following. June 24th, 2015. The first night of the sleepover. June 25th, 2015. The last night of the sleepover. The night of the assault. June 26th, 2015. The day after the sleepover. But it wasn't. The picture of Melanie seen earlier was taken on May 6th, 2015. It was then uploaded to Snapchat by Timothy and later saved online. However, the mess up in the timeline isn't totally relevant as of now. Assault is a traumatic experience, one the brain tries to protect you from. It's common to not know the exact date. Going back to the picture, notice the handcuffs and blindfold Melanie is wearing. They're from an old game called Valentine's Day Lover's Kit. The description of the game reads, one wears the blindfold while the other rolls the dice to reveal the action of love. The game was not mentioned in Timothy's original statement. The game was bought at a thrift store the pair had gone to previously, though it was not clear whose idea it was to buy it. In the Newsweek article, Timothy said it was Melanie's idea to play the game, while in a later interview, Timothy claimed it was her own idea.
Speaking of that picture, what was that a picture of? Like, what were you guys doing?
With me wearing her wig?
Yeah, or no, the one with the handcuffs. What's that?
Oh, okay. So that day we had gone to a thrift store and there was just this like silly like old like kit that was like a feather tickler and like handcuffs and like those dice that say like kiss leg and those things. And I was like, oh my god, that's so funny. Like, let's get it, you know?
We can also confirm that the picture was taken on May 6th, 2015, based on Melanie's hair color during that time. All of this leads us to the morning of June 25th, 2015, when Melanie posted a picture in New York. Melanie was on tour during the dates of Timothy's original timeline, and many use that as proof that Timothy was lying. Not only is it a trauma response for Timothy to not remember the exact date the assault happened, but Melanie and Timothy had numerous sleepovers during the duration of 2015. It's possible that, intentionally or not, Timothy combined different aspects and details from all their sleepovers and presented them as one. On December 8th, 2017, Timothy held an Instagram Live addressing the date contradictions.
Like I said about the dates, I'm a fucking human, and the only reason I said the 25th is because there's a picture that I remember taking the day after that I tweeted on the 26th, but maybe I tweeted it, you know? A couple days later. I don't know.
Timothy claims the following pictures were taken over the span of a day. Melanie claims the following pictures were taken over the span of 1.5 months. When Timothy was asked about the color of Melanie's hair, this was the response she provided.
A lot of people are asking what color was Mel's hair when it happened. I don't even know why that's a question. She wears wigs literally like for every single concert.
Right. She had purple and black hair at the time. She was wearing a wig. I've never known Melanie to ever have extensions in her life. Whenever she's pictured with long hair, it's a wig.
Back to Timothy's second piece of evidence, the iCloud video. Though it's been deleted, we confirm that it was real thanks to a quoted reply. Is this a known thing that happens for iCloud? Timothy stated in the deleted tweet that she got the dates wrong because her iCloud was messed up. The caption of the tweet reads, "I don't know if I'm gonna regret posting this, but I thought this might clear some things up. I start this video out showing that my iCloud photo is clearly fucked up. The pictures of me in the green wig are clearly not from 2011. The picture from that night then says May 6th. But people don't agree with her that it was. The example that is used is that in Timothy's camera roll, we can see a picture from a pool party that was dated June 24th, 2015. The party actually took place on the 21st. Since Timothy didn't take the photo herself, it's likely that she was sent the photo or screenshotted it on the 24th. Nonetheless, Timothy stands by her statement. The sleepover happened from June 24th, 2015 to June 25th, 2015. Even though her iCloud and social media from the time prove otherwise. Now I'm going to talk about the general timeline of Timothy and Melanie's friendship. It may seem long and uninteresting, but I'm hoping to provide some context with it. However, it's not totally relevant to the sexual assault allegations. If you wish to, you can skip to the timestamp shown on screen now. Timothy and Melanie became friends sometime early 2014, a few months before the Dollhouse tour. The tour lasted from June 4th to June 24th, 2014, with Timothy's former band Dresses playing as the opening act. Melanie ended her friendship with Timothy in late 2016, early 2017, following some advice from her personal healer, Raven. Melanie was allegedly told that she needed to cut people out of her life and focus on her career. Due to conflicting reports, we don't have an exact date on when the pair fell out. However, Timothy answered a curious cat, confirming that the two were still friends in 2017. Please remember that just because the two stayed close for such a long time after the alleged assault does not make Timothy a liar. It can be hard to get out of abusive relationships. Addressing the incident of November 16, 2017. On November 16, 2017, Timothy posted 2 tweets. What if I have my own story of abuse, but I'm scared to ruin the person's life, and I still love them in a fucked up way, and the public really, really loves them, and most probably wouldn't believe me? I need advice. I'm not ready to talk yet. On the same day, Melanie allegedly tried to contact Timothy through both her and her then boyfriend after having a dream about Timothy. This led to the couple blocking Melanie. Newsweek backed Timothy on her claims, stating they'd seen the phone logs and text messages. As of now, these receipts have not been publicly released. In a different interview, Timothy states that while the call had happened, nothing took place. She immediately hung up and blocked Melanie.
So I'm just gonna say it again, because again, I'm sorry, some of these are repetitive. So you think that Mel's healer is, like, when she tried to say you should talk to them, you think that's kind of BS? Do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think that she has this, like, God complex that she has to, like, fly in and save me because I'm the one who's mentally ill, when she hasn't really struggled with mental illness ever in her life. And she just, I don't know, tries to be this, like, savior for everyone. And after I've had, 2 years of weekly therapy and I'm on medication, like, I'm good, like, I did that for myself, and I don't need her to come and recommend me this healer that's gonna look into my past lives. Like, I'm good, G.
Did she recommend that to you because of what happened? Or
I don't know. I really don't know. When she sent it, she says that she saw that more vague tweet that I had, and that she got worried about me. And
a month ago? Was this a month ago that this happened? Or was this a while back?
A month ago, when she saw the tweet and tried to contact me and Mikey.
Oh. So you did talk to her a month ago?
No, I didn't respond. She tried to call me, and I hung up, and then Mikey got the text messages, but we never responded.
Oh, and that's when you blocked her, basically?
Right.
Okay. And Mel hasn't texted you, or, from what you know of since then? That sounds...
I wouldn't know, because I still have her blocked.
Okay.
For transparency reasons, I will have to say, Newsweek is not a reliable source. They've been caught numerous times prioritizing sensationalism over quality. They do not do enough research. We can now continue with the event from November 16th. One of Timothy's real-life friends has also corroborated the incident from November 16th, 2017. They have been referred to as Blue Shirt since they are not a public figure, so I will continue to refer them as such. The most confirmation we have of the two being friends is Timothy liking and retweeting a post Blue Shirt made. Take this as you will. According to Blue Shirt, they were at a bar in downtown LA with a mutual friend and Timothy and her boyfriend when Melanie allegedly tried to contact the couple. However, Blue Shirt also isn't the most reliable source. Not that they are lying, but sometimes a testimony based explicitly from memory can be faulty. It's impossible to remember everything as it happened without some sort of evidence to back it up. For example, when Blue Shirt was asked who ended the friendship, Melanie or Timothy, Blue Shirt claimed Timothy ended the friendship. However, in Timothy's original statement, she said Melanie was the one who ended the friendship. Timothy expressed on Newsweek the reason Melanie reached out to her on November 16th was a result of her having a dream about Timothy. On a later interview Timothy did on December 9th, 2017, she claimed that the reasoning for Melanie reaching out to her was a result of reading the tweets that Timothy had posted on November 16th.
When did the friendship end? Like, was it earlier this year, or was it more like 2016? Like, when did, because you said on the live stream that, like, she texted you or you texted her about her unfollowing you. When, like, was that?
I can figure it out. Let me check.
With those braces, don't even waste your time, Tim. That's really nice, guys. Thanks for the kind comments.
Wow. She's nice, guys. What the hell? Where is it? It was in October Must have been of 2015, October 2015.
Oh, so you guys were well, because a lot of people have been posting some of the recreation pics, and like some of them were for.
Oh wait, no, sorry, it's gotta be 2016 then.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Oh god. Now they're gonna quote me.
Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, well, you can't even remember that." So,
guys, I'm sorry. I forget what day it is.
that's true. I understand that.
From here on, things get kinda blurry, so bear with me. And please, if I am misinformed or miss anything at all, don't be afraid to correct me in the comments. Timothy states that the friendship ended in October of 2016 after Melanie unfollowed her and had a lengthy conversation with her via text message. This would align with Newsweek's claim that the incident from November 2017 was the first time Timothy had heard from Melanie in over a year.
Do you think that you'll talk to Melanie about what happened? Or you think you're just gonna leave it at nothing?
I'd rather not talk to her. I've had some pretty, I don't know, heavy conversations with her, and when she dumped me, it was honestly a really cruel, long conversation that really hurt me, and I can't imagine having a constructive conversation with her at this point.
However, as mentioned earlier, Timothy remarks that the pair were still close as early as January of 2017. Though none of this should be taken as concrete, people have speculated on possible timelines and reasoning for why Timothy said she was still friends with Melanie in 2017. Possibility number 1. Melanie stopped being friends with Timothy in October 2016 due to the fact that the first round of voting for the 2017 Grammys was happening at the time and her work was not considered to be submitted by her record label. Melanie only released Gingerbread Man during the eligibility period, so if she was considering submitting her work, it would have been for one of the Crybaby music videos. It aligns with Newsweek's statements that Timothy did not hear from Melanie in over a year, but it does not align with Timothy's tweets from January and March of 2017 stating that she was still friends with Melanie. Possibility number 2. Melanie stopped being friends with Timothy in February after watching the 2017 Grammy ceremony and asking herself if her future projects would be recognized by the Grammys and be praised by the general public/critics. Melanie was wrapping up the Crybaby storyline at the time, with Mad Hatter being the only music video that was left to film, and began working for what would become K-12. It aligns with Timothy's tweets from January of 2017 stating that she was still friends with Melanie, but it does not align with the statements made in the Newsweek article that Timothy did not hear from her in over a year. December 2nd, 2017, 2 days before posting her original statement, Timothy tweeted the following: "I have enough friends and you are not one and never acted like one either." Many speculate this tweet was about Melanie. Before ending this section, I would like you all to remember, anything that was speculated should not be taken as fact. No one other than Timothy and Melanie know what truly happened, and we shouldn't follow something blindly if we don't know the truth behind it. Back to the present. July 19th, 2024, Timothy made a TikTok detailing how speaking out against Melanie ruined her life. Fair warning, the video is 6 minutes and 12 seconds long, and I will be playing it in its entirety.
Speaking out against my abuser ruined my life, and I'd like to talk to you about it. I'm going to be reading something I wrote. It's not particularly well written, but I just needed to collect my thoughts. Whether you know who I am or not, I ask you to please listen to my story. If you do recognize me, then you haven't heard from me in a couple of years, and that's because I was effectively run off the internet. You also may have heard that I admitted to lying or that it was proven that I lied. Neither are true. Speaking out against my abuser ruined my life. Here's how we got to that point. During the Me Too movement, I chose to speak out against a former friend who had essayed me. I was young, naive, and could never imagine how this would end up affecting my life. I believed that as long as I told the truth, things would turn out alright. I was very wrong. After my initial statement, describing in detail what happened, my abuser issued a statement in response. She used the sentence, "She never said no to what we chose to do together." While I did say no, in many different ways, this sentence was actually quite validating for me to hear. She clearly didn't understand how consent works, and she admitted that something took place between us. I wish it ended there. I made the mistake of doing an interview with Daily Mail. While being interviewed, they asked for more specific details, like when the incident took place. It'd been around 2 years prior, so I didn't remember the exact date. What I did remember was a picture I took the next day. I went back in my camera roll, found the picture, and told them the day of the incident was the day before. Unfortunately, I was wrong. The picture in my camera roll appeared multiple times. I can't explain why. When the interview came out, her fans went back in her posts to that date to find that we were in different states. If you've never heard my story before, you might at this point wonder, why would that matter? She admitted something between you took place in her statement. I agree, and this is just one of the parts that drives me crazy. After this discovery, she released a second statement, in which she thanks her fans for researching the timeline and analyzing past Instagram posts which reveal my false statements. Unfortunately, this was enough for 99% of her fans to take what she said as truth and deem me a liar. The complete contradiction of her statements meant nothing. The events after this are so much and so overwhelming, it's hard for me to recount. She ended up releasing essentially a diss track about me, with lyrics perpetuating the idea that I lied about all of this for fame. I was a small musician at the time, and after speaking out, gained tens of thousands of followers. While there were some supporters, the majority of the followers were people who actively hated me. I suddenly had thousands of hate accounts dedicated to me, thousands of dislikes and negative comments on all of my music, and completely ridiculous fabricated stories of me being posted online. I really hoped it would die out and people who liked me would stick around and I'd be able to move on with my career, but it never died. Anything I attempted to do was infected with this story. Googling me results in many first-page results calling me a liar. The people who hated me took it upon themselves to ruin every opportunity for me. Partnerships with brands, modeling opportunities, they were all flooded with comments saying I lied about SA. In addition to this, my home address, phone number, and family's phone numbers were all leaked. I became so discouraged with my own music career, I essentially stopped. I started doing SW in an attempt to regain some autonomy, but that was taken from me as well when people who hated me hacked the account. I was just trying to move on. My adult content was being spread and mocked by the people who hated me. Every single one of my social media accounts was hacked, including my email. The only thing they didn't get into was my bank account. I was given the classic fuck the haters advice, but until you're bombarded with the amount that I had to endure, you really can't imagine how it would affect you. It was just so much louder than any amount of support I was receiving. As you can imagine, my mental health was and is majorly affected by this situation. And while I wish I was the type of person with the confidence to say fuck the haters and stick it out, I'm just not. I'm sensitive and not self-confident and never have been. And this made it so much worse. It got to the point where I could no longer put up with the abuse. Holding on to this public image was no longer worth the pain, and I deactivated all of my public accounts. In doing this, I also saw this as completely giving up on being a musician. I couldn't put myself through the public scrutiny anymore. So that's where I've been the past couple of years, in private. It was a huge relief to no longer be bombarded with the amount of hate I was receiving every day, but now I'm stuck with the after effects. I imagine every day the life that I could have lived if this all hadn't happened. Would I be the musician I always wanted to be? It's kept me in a complete freeze state. I won't go into too much detail about how much I've been suffering the past couple of years. Frankly, it's embarrassing. I wish I could move on. But I've never wanted things to be over more than I have now. I've been in partial hospitalization programs and attempted to regain any semblance of confidence and hope for my life, but I can't shake that this is the wrong timeline for me. I didn't do anything wrong. I spoke the truth. If you're familiar with my story, you may have also heard that I admitted to lying, and I can assure you that never happened. There were photoshopped images spread around of a confession that never happened because I have nothing to confess. I never lied. You may have also heard that I accused other celebrities of this, which I can promise you never happened either. There's so many other terrible things that people have made up about me that I'm not going to dissect and defend right now. But I was successfully gaslit into thinking I was a bad person who deserved this. I am so scared to speak out about this again. There's a high possibility that I won't receive any support from this, and people who hate me will target me again, and I go back into hiding. I ask that if you are someone who is under the impression that I lied about this, to please hear me out. Please think about her contradicting statements. Please realize that there's no one on earth who knows what happened that night besides me and her, and even the smallest possibility that I could be telling the truth should be enough for you to not want to risk ruining an innocent person's life in this way. I'm completely exhausted from begging people to believe me for years now. I'm not sure what I'm hoping will come from this. It's gotten to be quite humiliating to beg people to care. But if you haven't heard my story before, thank you for hearing me, and I could really use your help in rewriting the false narrative of who I am and what happened to me.
There isn't much to say about this video, as Timothy is reiterating her story and denying allegations made against her. So with that, I'll be moving on to the next topic. Globe lamp situation. Please take this next topic with a grain of salt, as many have argued that her claims and accusations seem to be out of hate, not of help. Sometime in September of 2020, 𝐿𝐴 posted a series of stories to her Instagram page denouncing Timothy.
Timothy Heller has had literally since November of last year to contact me or even try to talk to me, and she hasn't put any effort into it at all, except today when I posted some screenshots from our conversation. It's kind of weird. If you cared, you would have contacted me a year ago, or like whenever this happened. You blocked me and you fucking cut me out of your life, and you basically thought I was nothing. Sorry, I posted something that actually happened. I remember Timothy telling me that before she posted her story about Melanie, that Melanie tried to contact her a bunch to talk about it, and Timothy wouldn't answer the phone and was just like, no, I'm gonna post it, and thought it was funny. So now you know what it feels like, Timothy. I'm not answering your fucking texts. You got blocked, and I just exposed whatever. You can post whatever about me. Everyone already knows I cussed out Melanie before. Everything's public that I've done. I don't have shit to hide.
She also publicly denounced Timothy on Twitter, but again, many feel as though she isn't speaking out for awareness, but to tarnish Timothy's reputation. On July 22nd, 2024, 3 days after Timothy's last post, 𝐿𝐴 also posted a TikTok calling Timothy out once more.
Timothy Heller's fake allyship towards me, her inconsistencies, and her petty drama that she said about Melanie's family for no reason were all red flags for me. During the peak of my public trial with my abuser, she bailed on me as an ally, pretending she needed self-care for herself, but had no problem like trolling me on the internet and following bands that were on my abuser's label and his friends and stuff. So why should I believe her? I'm not just a normal person on the internet like who has no connection to her. I met her because she messaged me and said she believed me and she had my back and she supported me. At the end of the day, though, the bottom line is just you need to believe in Melanie more instead of sending the frantic energy of send her support and love. She's already dealt with this before. I think that's what she's talking about in her song 'leeches. It's another thing is her lyrics on her songs will maybe believe her more too. The more I'd listen to them, it made me think this is the lyrics of somebody who's dealing with something they don't know how to express publicly, but like kind of being accused, like in *leeches* or even in *Field Trip* and parts of it.
However, 𝐿𝐴 can't say what happened between Melanie and Timothy, as she herself admits she wasn't there. The only thing we can take from 𝐿𝐴 is how Timothy allegedly treated her. Maddie Karina allegations. Maddie Karina was a former friend of Melanie and shared her own story of alleged abuse from Melanie following Timothy's statement in December of 2017. At Maddie Karina, you used to be friends with Melanie. What are your thoughts? Yes, used to. And I've been friends with Timothy for a few years. Timothy told me about it a little while ago. I think people need to read it in the context of this happening with a man. It's assault. Just because she's a girl doesn't mean she can't assault another girl. Also, something similar, not happened with me and Mel. She begged me over and over again to sleep with her, and I finally gave in. She wore me down. I said yes. But it was not the same with Timothy. I will support Timothy Heller till the end. Maddie describes her experience as consenting, though she felt manipulated. This aligns with Timothy's statement, where Melanie begged her over and over again, as Maddie claims Melanie wore her down until she said yes. This was the only thing Maddie has said regarding the topic that I have found. When asked about Maddie, Timothy referred to her as the other girl who slept with Melanie, implying Maddie and Melanie had slept together, not that Melanie assaulted Maddie.
The eye roll. This is a question I have. Do you know if Melanie is bisexual? I've gotten this so many times, like because she did stuff to you and someone else that she was friends with came out saying that she slept with her because Melanie was like trying to.
Right. You know, I don't know. She has never outwardly told me that. I don't even really know if I consider, like, because Maddie, the other girl who slept with her, Melanie dumped her too very shortly after.
As this video reaches an end, I just want to add a few things. This video is for informational purposes only. I'm not telling you who to believe. It's not my place to. Everyone should do their own research before coming to conclusions, and even then, as of now, we will never know the full story. I wish both Timothy and Melanie peace. Some things I saw that I didn't touch on were just really hateful, and it's sad to see someone's allegations be turned into something so hateful. If you or someone you know are going through or have experienced sexual assault or abuse, please know you're not alone. You are loved. I have resources down below for those in need. Thank you, everyone, and good night.